Je Chodan Zoche Chodan Chanchu Badu Chanchu Chi Badu Chishi Jebe Somaranti Lola Benche Sandi Rupa Shu Je Chodan Zoche Chana Lai Chocho Badu Dana Chatsu Chi Badu Chetan Jebe Somaranti Lola Bencher Sanjay Varshu Je Shudan Sangi Chana Lai Chancho Vadu Dami Chatsu Chi Ari Cheshe Je Sangi Lola Bencher Sanjay Varshu. Okay. Hot. Open the window. Open the door. Okay. You hot? You're hot. Temperature okay? Yeah. Good. You got some wind? Now we are talking okay, good evening again, everyone. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Good. Now that you come back, then you don't have to listen to my broken English. And did you guess what I'm talking about? Not to come to the Jagina. Jumani Kadu Badaya, to Damatu Nalamazo, come at Jumani should put in the Komjay. Sapper Labadan Yala.
So we're going to do a little bit of meditation, and from now on every class, we do on Wednesdays and Sundays, we'll meditate for about 10 to 15 minutes before we start the class.
And the Jagaya Gamba so good in Jimichi, and I'm not doing the Gakuti, the college of Kumja, so you got in the way.
So those of you who are kind of senior or advanced in your studies and meditation, you can do any meditation you want. You don't have to do the basic meditation that we lead here.
And the
So right here, the meditation that we're doing is mostly for the beginners, to guide them how to do the meditation. In meditation, it's the object that you meditate on. It can be, if you do go into the more profound, then you can meditate on emptiness or impermanence and so forth. And then also you can do a deity yoga meditation based on the emptiness. And also you can meditate based on the Four Noble Truths. And so like that, you can meditate on the profit of rebirth, and the difficulties to find the profit of rebirth, and karmic law cause and effect, impermanence, and so forth. So like that, also you can meditate on the Guru devotion, the deity yoga, and so forth. When you're meditating on emptiness, you're meditating on what is the reality of the phenomena. Then also, when you're meditating on impermanence, you're meditating in that way. Meditating on the profit of rebirth, like the difficulties to attain this profit of rebirth, the karmic law of cause and effect, impermanence, and so forth. Then you're meditating, on the difficulties of how difficult it is, to find the proper river, so how you should not waste it, and so forth.
근데 지 예담 라이 나 조금 가라 또 타면 아직 까지. 아니 지금 예담 때다 되게 라스 다시 간다 예담 때다 되게 뭐 빠지는 거 그래. 그래서 도대 타면 아직 가야 되지.
And when you're doing the deity yoga meditation or meditating on the deity, where you meditate on emptiness and then from that state of emptiness, you arise in the form of the deity. The purpose of doing that, is to to avoid, the ordinary appearance, and so you think of yourself, as the deity. So then you arise in the form of the deity, and the main purpose of doing that is to avoid, the ordinary appearances.
야 예담 라이 나 주단 되게 도네 지금 무슨 배정도 거예요.
Then also you can do a meditation on the flowing of the light and nectar, based on the deity.
Okay? 어떻게 도는 검자에 맞지 되는 게 지금 I forgot to say something before that. 아래 간제 공제 니바로 가지 동이라고 한다. 내가 제일 되다. 나도 로종지 로종제네 다음 두바제네 두바면나 공제라고 그랬어.
And so you can meditate in this way. And how do you know when you achieve the result of doing your meditation, right? So when you study, you go to the class and you take a lesson and then you study and then you know when you have gained the knowledge of that lesson, right? And so for that you have to first do the analytical meditation. Like, for example, understanding the impermanence, right? So what is impermanent and how do you define it? Like, so you have to analyze, why it is impermanent, how it is impermanent, and so forth. So then you analyze first, right? So analyze means to think, so why it is impermanent, the reason why it is impermanent, how it is impermanent. And once you find that it is impermanent, then you come to the conclusion, thinking that, yes, this is impermanent. Then you just stick your mind to that conclusion, saying, yes, this is impermanent. And that's what we call the meditation.
Yeah. What busy person done? You can leave. Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay. You're ready for some time. Okay. 제가 December 누구 나다 너도 전화로 누구 지금 되시죠? 데레 상고.
So like that, when you hear like explanation or commentary on something, and this is how it is, this is how it is, or this is what it is, like that, then you think, oh, this is how it is, this is how it is, like that. Do you feel like that? Do you think in that way? Like, yeah, this is how it is, this is what it is, like that. Or you might think also, oh, I have heard this so many times, this is like this is like this, you already know it like that, right? So you're thinking it is like this. So we do things like that, but then again, realizing that or finding the ascertainment, of that, it's a little different, from just thinking it is like that, it's like that. So when you find that ascertainment, or real understanding about that, then you have achieved the realization or the result of that. So just by thinking, yeah, it is like that, or just by knowing it is like that, it's not good enough. So you have to gain the ascertainment. So right, because many of you, mostly the senior students, already heard so many times. Yeah, it's like that, it's like that, like that.
Okay. Oh yeah. I think I'm going to take it. Come to
So now we're going to do a little bit of meditation, okay? So when you do the meditation, do it with the full attention. So also, like, the position in that you sit in, when you do the meditation is also important. Like normally we talk about these 7 postures of the Virachana. So you have to sit in a cross-leg position, right? And your hands should be close together in a meditation posture, and your hair should be straight, not looking here and there, which can cause the distractions. And so if your body is straight, then your channel, the winds in the body, moves straight. And then your mind will be also very straight. So like the wind, when the wind runs, wind flows straight or in the right way, then the mind will flow in the right way also. Because the mind, is riding on a wind, right? So that way, then your meditation will become more powerful. Okay. And so when you're meditating, you should also stop counting the mala. So usually when you do the meditation, you should not do other things, like even like reciting mantra. Because wherever your body, right, gets the feeling, your mind will go towards that. That way, then your meditation will not become very focused or very powerful. Is it? Okay. Now we're going to meditate for about 10 to 15 minutes, okay? So first we're going to do the analytical meditation today. So like I mentioned earlier, the students can meditate on anything you want. You can meditate on emptiness, you can meditate on impermanence. So now look for yourself. What's you? Who are you? What's your name? Like I'm Mark, or I'm Puncture, like that. So you say, who am I? So look for yourself. Not looking at me, okay? Don't look at me. You say you check yourself. Does my head to me? Is my whole body to me? What they put together to me? Try to find you. Yeah, try to look for yourself. And then after that, try to look for your mind also. So think about your feeling, what kind of feeling you have at this moment. And then where is that feeling? Try to look or find that feeling. Right? Good. Everyone good? Good.
대체로 다 소속을 잘하는 것도 공대 작은다. 대구 공대 소속이 계속 소속이 얘네 공대 작았어.
Next, you're going to meditate on sound, like you're going to recite or chant. You say Om, and then you focus your mind on that sound, Om. That's also
제가 노치는 고만부 잡나 네 되게 텐데 아무도 로정도 냐는 시간이 많던 그래.
So if we meditate in this way for a long time, then this will definitely help mind.
야, 계속 추진치를 먹으면 니 말래 꿈도 같이 잡더라.
So not for a very long time in one session, but like many sessions, like many short sessions.
아야, 공자 다시 맞으려 가나 많아서 빼나. 미치게 소소 코로나가 또나. 미치게 소소 코로나가 미치게 와야다. 내가 니지 오면 그래.
And then we can meditate on compassion towards somebody who's harming us or causing us to be angry.
그래서 나 미팅을 나도 가지 프로젝트 나도 코로나가 와요.
So this the person is not willingly or happily willingly irritating us.
some water, some coffee, some candy. 왜 도체? 다 도체는 다 남벽이 지금 대신 잡아는 남벽 주기 시작하는 또 다르나 또 추탐주 바지 때는 정말 해서 나도 소소 사망하지 소소 통화하지 소소 참지요 해서
So in Buddhism, we talk about interdependence, right? So everything exists by depending on others. So there's nothing that exists from its own side. Nothing exists like we see, or like we think, like we hear, and so forth.
그래서 들리지 여봐야나 가서 이제 쎄버든지
So if it does exist like we see or like we think, then we should be able to find it, or like when we look for it, then it should become clearer and clearer. So like we mentioned earlier about like finding yourself, right? So when you're looking for yourself, so the way you think about yourself, right? Then you think this is who I am. So if you really exist the way you think you exist, then you should be able to find it.
You find yourself? How about you? Do you find yourself? Do you find where pond?
Wait, did you find yourself? Did you find yourself? You were looking for yourself, right? Earlier, when we talk about meditating on finding yourself.
지금 변하면 저 사무실에 마땅하지. 소소도 얘기 못 들었나? 소소도 많이는 좀 말해. 가서 뭐 살아가나?
So normally when we say I am there, right? I'm here, and I should be able to point at myself, right? So if I say I'm not there, then people will say we're crazy, right?
소소도 얘기 말하나? 소소 답변이 좀 말해.
If you don't find yourself, then you must be crazy. People think that, right?
오늘 바뀐 사보제야. 쉽게 상담이나. 아니, 소소 들어서 얘기 말했어.
But if you really think it, deeply, to find yourself, to look for yourself, then you will not find it.
어떻게 했나? 제가 저는 보러 yes 맞아.
Did you find Pearl? You did?
가도.
Can you point to Pearl? Can you point? Like point here, point. That's Pearl? Head?
저는 걸어봤어.
That's Pearl's head or Pearl?
지나가다가 낸거.
So like you said, this is my head, right? So that's not me. It's my head. It's not me, right?
내 말하는 거, 나 말하는 거, 미다다 버리지 가있다고.
So it's same as saying, this is my mala. This is my head. This is my mala. Same thing. So not me, right?
My glass, my head, but my body. 도저히 같이 해도
So where do you find yourself now?
괜찮아 방법으로.
That's your chest.
No, that's kidding. It's not force you. You think really deeply. 아니 오늘 수수사만이나 저 세세리 온 데레서 저는 자자 장 두선 거래서.
So that's how we think. Me like that. We point like that. But if that's really me, then you should find it. You should find it. It should become more and more clear to you. But then when you really think about it, you're pointing to your chest or to your heart. That's not you, right?
No, just think about that. What it is?
So, like the closest thing that anyone could maybe point to.
No, do you find yourself in the consciousness?
The only thing that you might find is an observer. Like
Again.
Yeah. You are the person looking for you. That's my question, okay? I said, what's your name? Steve, can you find yourself? This is my question, okay? I'm not saying looking there.
Yes, no, you can't.
Okay. Does Steve exist?
No.
You're not talking to me?
You could say that this exists.
But Steve is not talking with me? They exist?
Is Steve talking to himself though?
No, therefore, I said, Steve talking with me? You say yes, no.
Most people, maybe.
No, I don't want to go most people. I say, no.
I'm not even sure.
Oh, that's good. That's good. It's not shit. It's not wrong.
No, because I've seen where we were all almost essentially connected, very similar to the Shavakakara wheel, the wheel of life. I swear, I've seen where we were all almost literally directly connected. So I'm wondering, that observer that could see that, where there was no separation, like literally attached via the floor almost.
You're right. We said they also said Buddhism say also they connect each other, even they touch each other, but not literally. But my question is just first, when we think usually what I say is correct, what I knew is correct. But yes, they will learn, but first, can you find yourself? This is most important. Okay.
And most you can find maybe as an observer.
당연히. So 당연히 통일했어.
Who's 당연히
So who is the observer?
저
I'm wondering. And can you ask him, say, I'm wondering, and like, is that observer for every person? Is there one observer on each person, or is there only one observer? And that observer is going
소스
to...
당겨라. 당연히 소스 채우라. 당연히 요라. 어디 있을까?
이거
당연히 찌르기 당연히 소스 당연히 소스 레레 요라기 당연히 레레 요라기 당연히 찌르.
시작 자원입니다.
So yeah, there is an equal number of observer and to the number of the phenomena.
Very weird.
They can do it.
이 말은 이거 말 단위면서 시작돼. 단위면서 시작.
So observer, right? So there is a observer for each object, right? Right? There is a
Just only because like I've only ever seen it from my eyes and the perspective of where everything was directly still connected. I was kind of wondering if it was one observer and everyone else was just
시작 자원이 땅에 그래. 이거 시작 자원이 시작하면 단위요. 단위는 땅에 못하네.
so as many phenomena are there, that many observer there are. So like there's a mind that sees the object.
like
So there's however many number of many objects there are, that many number of minds there are to observe that. Yeah.
oh, okay, good. And
What do you say? Okay, this is not. No. Okay. 제가 너도 레라올라 그러고 레라오들이 고아라야 되는 말이.
So we're just trying to think here like that, right? But it's not really easy to understand deeply, like that.
대화를 누좀 규칙을 지고.
And to have that deeper understanding about that, then of course you have to do a lot of studies and a lot of meditations as well.
다음은 네가 가르쳐 그러잖아. 동문지에서 가르쳐 그래서 내가 좋은 데를 와.
So what is the point of knowing that, right? So if we think in that way, if we understand that, then what is the point or what is the benefit of that?
왜 자신 소설을 막하기 미시요에나.
For example, if there's someone who hates you or
Okay.
someone who doesn't like you,
상황이라 그래. 좀 남자는 미팅을 뒤에 보면서 미팅 직책들까지 소소고 막아서 미팅 생기러 왔어.
and so then you will also hate the person, right? So you will not like the person who doesn't like you. So this person doesn't like me. You have that kind of feeling.
다음에 대목에 내서 가르치는 소소 내서 가르치는 막아와나 띵그 소소 강에 잡아요. 그래서 가르치는.
So then, because we don't normally look, why that person doesn't like me, right? Why that person hate me, or why does that person not like me? So we have to look for the reason.
제가 도저히 식당이 뭐 삼아 된다고 고바지 해와야나 즉 소소는 강에 제대기 밑에 소소고 동안은 동을 가봐야 아니 대문도 소소 따서 뭐냐 그런 원이 좀 같대 그런 소소다 소소라야 대소소 봐줘네 막아와 지야 용하기 제진 성경 받을 거니까 그래서
So when you think in that way, then you will also find the person that you don't like, is not like it appears to you, not like the person appears to you. Person doesn't exist in a way that appears to you. It's your mind projecting the person to be in a certain way, and that causes you to not like the person.
제가 대변하면 내수 가르지 봐 내수 가르지 봐나 만서 삼나 봐줘보시 소소 때를 주네
So mostly we think that it's all because of that person, have nothing to do with me. I'm all good, it's just that person, like that. So like, for example, the singing ball, right? So the ball makes the sound, right? What makes the sound? The ball or the stick? Yeah, it's the ball, right, that makes the sound. But if the stick doesn't hit the ball, will the ball make sound?
I think you rub your finger.
제자 가르치 봐. 아주 소소 때를 지금 되면은 딱 밑에서 가르치면 팅이 소소고 리더 세다들 가게 된 거래서 소수된 데도 요래.
So like that, so it has to depend on the, on the stick. Either you hit it or rub it or whatever you do it, you have to depend on the stick. Just like that. If you haven't done anything, then no matter what, the other person will not be able to cause any harm to you.
제가 던지게 내들 다른 남들이 내가 하는 거를 지금 아마 때때려 때려라.
So that's how it is in reality. Is it really like that? Yes, it is like that.
이네 만돌 아래는 것도 타마래라 그래. 그래서 걔네 요래서.
So, but, like when we, that's the kind of reasonable, right? So, it's rational, so we can say, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, it is like that. We know that. We say, yes, it is like that.
이는 딜 너들은 지금 다懂得.
But we know that, but does that really help us to not get angry? No, right?
다 대담 공격. 제금치 다 내마찬 로서 나도 자세 somebody touch what you want. 아니
So the first you apply the reason why it is like that, right? So you apply reason and says, yes, it's like that, it's like that. Then your mind comes to conclusion, yes, it is like that. Then you keep your mind on that conclusion, yes, it's like that. And that's what you're meditating, is like just keeping your mind on that conclusion, that thought. Right? And then once you have kept your mind on that thought, then it will become easier for you to not have that kind of negative emotion towards others.
Okay?
So like that, when you think it is possible to gain the kind of understanding through meditation?
I think it's possible.
100%.
You sure?
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Mark, maybe.
In most instances, I would think, yeah.
I've lived it.
Why would you do? Why we don't? What did they do?
I would say maybe it stopped them a little bit, but that's only here. That's only in the physical. Like if the point of this all is to understand the forms, the levels of delusion and the attachments and all these things that are delusion. If most of these things are levels of delusion, that still exist within delusion. So even if you get yourself down to being some really good guy, you're still here.
I think 처음에는 유머러스. 처음에 유머러스. 아니 저런 계세요. 저런 미하고 차바이나 다 열었어.
미하고 매서 가서.
So what happens if you become?
미하고 매서 하는 소리.
So what makes you not a good guy?
Oh, like what would be an example?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just like you were saying, like say you were getting angry or something with somebody. So say you teach yourself to get not as angry as frequently. But still, due to dependent origination, just like you said, when you hit the bowl with the stick, the sound happens, there's still going to be reality spinning around you. So whether you polish yourself up enough to not get caught on all the little edges that make you stumble, you're still existing in this realm.
그래서 저런 게 딱 가진 전부 소바이나야. 근데 딱 저런 데 막아야 될 것을 지금 가도 막아야 되는데 저도 가진 전부 소바이는 저런 다음 날 열어. So
But my thing is that maybe I'm here and maybe this place was created in the city I was born in to guide me to become a bodhisattva, to to stay in this delusion long enough to help. If everyone is a separate soul, then I was born here to be a bodhisattva, to help every individual soul figure it out. And I'm okay with going through the suffering over and over again, because I trust that I'll find this path again, and that I'll be able to do it again, to help every person eventually look this way and out, off the wheel.
그런 다 대개하리다 그런 게다 나도 쉐바레를 열었어. 쉐바레를 나도 쉐바디 다 지금 요새 나도 쉐바 그런 다 전주 선바 차는 되는 전에 패하실 때는 델레버스. 아디즈 그런 게다 쉐바레를 다 쉐바 신데서 되는 그런 게 람트야 되는 제도스. That's good.
Okay. That's possible. That's good. Okay. Okay. 다시 나 또 내가 지주대 만들어 가리가리팅.
The most important, what is causing us the most trouble in our life? What is causing the most trouble in our life?
So same truth, nothing can.
What is causing the most trouble in our life?
Poisons.
Huh?
Self-grasping.
Self-grasping.
Yeah,
Is it?
Expectation.
Expectation.
때가 그렇대. 나한테 휴지 보여서 아니 말하지 거기서 expect 먹고 용을.
Yeah, so of course it's related, but yeah, in normally, right, in a ordinary world, we will say expectation, and that comes from where? From the self-grasping.
No, it's not bad. It's not. No, you don't say you're bad, okay? 대가도 참을 때래.
Yeah, we all have that.
그 가르치는 가운데 지금 말해. 뭐 가르치는 가운데 지금 말해.
We have the expectation for them to do certain things for us, right? So why she's not doing this for me? Why he's not doing that for me? Why he's not saying this for me?
아니 내 가르치는 데는 노트를 가르치는 거세요. 내 노트 지는 게잖아. 가르치는 노트 지고 있다. 자월 앞서있어.
Somebody who makes a mistake, we have an expectation from them too. Like, I've taught him so many times, still he's making mistakes. Why is he making so many mistakes?
제가 방송을 듣다 그러고 expectation 비교가 바뀌는 거. 그래서 그래 가는 거 제가 아니 감정 후 파쇼이 못 받는 거 들리 내지 돈 거야.
So that's, yeah, because of that, expectation that we have, we can't realize that, the other person's situation, that they can be ignorant, they can be, in a situation where they cannot do that, or they cannot say that, right? Or they're not able to think in that way to say or do the things like we expect. We don't understand that, so that's also our ignorance about that.
제자는 다대서를 가진 로종지 공적 조금 제외나 아니 다 문이 대서가 자자자 대를 줘서 맞다 때문에 레드는 지금 딱까지 예시 뇨이 통다와이나 근데 다 공자와이나 로종지와이나 참아 내버시 좀 그래.
So to overcome that, then we have to study, we have to understand the reality, and then we meditate on that. Then we say, oh yes, it's like that, so I cannot expect that. Oh, because he is like that, or because she's like that, therefore he cannot do this, he cannot. Then you understand that, and then you will not have that expectation. But of course, for that, you have to first study, and then you have to meditate.
얘는 정말 죄송한 것 같다. 아니, 남들을 가리긴다고 그래서, 남들을 가리긴다고 그래서.
So his Holiness always mentions, right, that what harms your self-grasping ignorance? What harms your self-grasping ignorance?
남들을 매번 가리기서도 그래서.
So your self-cherishing attitude, right? So your self-grasping, your ego, mind, right? What can destroy your ego mind?
Well, cherishing others. I mean, the understanding emptiness, of course, would be the way to cut it at the root. But
그래서 그래, 되는 장문이 들어서 온다. 너 지금 검제지, 너 검제를 했다. 제검제 다 돌았다. 내를 가지고는 조선에도 정말 또 빡나서 그런데 또 같이 랑문도 제가 제 체제가 된다고 같이 내를 줘서 또 선생님이 타적을 보시나 되게 담는 거예요.
So yeah, of course, it's emptiness, right? So if you meditate on emptiness, or you keep thinking that it is like that, it is like that. So it is empty of existence from its one side. It is all dependent origination, like that. So you keep thinking like that, it's like that, it's like that, and you come to the conclusion, to think like that. And so when you think like that, then that will harm the self-grasping ignorance.
그래, 오다들이 오늘 다도 때 공작 상담하고 그랬다. 아니 나줄 제외 그든 또지 아니 아침부터 미치는 때 총다하다. 아니 뭐 본래도 하고 있는 게
So that comes when you understand the reality, when you understand the way things exist, how things do not exist from their own side, or how things exist by depending on others, like that, right? So you come to understand that. So that's the main purpose of studying the Dharma.
그래, 다 누구지 간지 내가 그걸 삼아 수도 나만나지 듣고 말해야지. 그래 이봐야 수만지 이거 말해야지.
Then also coming to understand that the things do not exist in a way they appear to us. So how they appear to us, they don't exist in that way. and the things do not exist in a way that we think. So we think, this is like this, is like we think like that, right? So things do not exist in that way. So if we understand that, then we understand the reality.
다 주름만 통도와.
Like for example, you all see Geshe-la.
다 주름 나는 말을 봐.
So how do you see? How does he appear to you? Does he exist in a way that he appears to you?
다 배워다 땅 문에 가 문에 인가 이거도 말이야. 나 문에도 가르했어. 문도 인가도 가르했어.
So he doesn't exist in a way he appears to you. Then how does he exist really?
Independently.
저 플레이 뜻대로 나도 라이브도 됐다고 되고도 다 좋아지면 그냥 나도 변하지. 근데
He just said that way, right?
Yeah, yeah. You couldn't know it if you, I mean,
변은 변은 문에 같이 문은 같이 양당의 수치 내 수니지. 그래서 전이니까로 채워야 또 한번 채워야 돼.
So the Geshe-la that appears to you, okay, the Geshe-la that appears to you, is it different from the reflection of Geshe-la in the mirror?
yes.
It is? 채워야지.
다 대마다 막 채워지게 봐. 이빨다 야만한 나타 다들이 더 되고.
뭐 그러나도 나에게 Geshe-la 안되는 손님 Geshe-la 채워요 뭐.
채워야 말.
열었어 무슨?
제가 다들 채워가니까.
내 마음으로 채워요 말. 개발 채워라.
내가 대마 먼저 저만에 집어넣어.
So the Geshe-la that comes in your dream, right? You have a dream of Geshe-la, and then the reflection of Geshe-la in the mirror, and the Geshe-la that appears to you. Is there any difference? Do you see the difference in that way?
There's a difference, yes.
You know the dream?
Of course there's a difference.
Just within the context of the situation.
What difference?
Well, for instance, in the same way that water is different than the water you see in a mirage, the idea of Geshe-la appearing before me and Geshe-la.
You need to explain your example.
No,
See, that's the thing that you should see in the same way.
you either both.
Because the Geshe-la that appears to you, does it exist?
Yes.
It doesn't.
Geshe-la that appears to me. The Geshe-la
Just
that,
like-
no, the Geshe-la that appears, the Geshe-la that appears to me exists. The Geshe-la appears to me, it exists,
너는 나의 Geshe-la 여봐라.
but he doesn't exist in the way that it appears.
The Geshe-la the Geshe-la that appears to you exists or no?
Geshe-la exists, but not in the way he appears to me.
Well, here's an
Geshe-la,
example.
of course, Geshe-la exists, but the Geshe-la that appears to you, does it exist or not? That's what.
Yes,
That exists. Yeah.
yes.
저는 모르는 나의 Geshe-la 열어서 그래. So the Geshe-la that appears to you exists?
Yes.
Okay. So Geshe-la is Geshe-la existing truly?
No.
That's what it appears to you though.
Yes, Geshe-la appears to
Geshe-la appears to you as truly existing, right?
right. But
I call that
but to say exists means,
that's the most complicated place.
yeah,
No, Geshe-la exists.
Geshe-la
The
exists.
Geshe-la that appears to me doesn't exist. Because the Geshe-la that appears to me exists truly. So Geshe-la doesn't exist truly. That's
That's how
what I'm
you
saying.
see them.
So the way you see,
You have no choice but to see him as,
Depends who's because we're talking about subject and object, depends who's the observer. The observer has a higher level of
Of course, yeah.
understanding. That's
no, we're talking about the ordinary people, right?
okay.
So
Ordinary people
ordinary people.
then exists truly.
Yeah, no, not the superior being.
Well, I haven't clarified.
what does it mean to conventionally exist means to be known to the world and you exist, and that's what it means to exist.
No, the Geshe-la exists. The Geshe-la that appears to you doesn't exist. Like you as an
The
ordinary
way
person.
the Geshe-la appears as existing from his own side does not exist, but Geshe-la exists.
So no, that's the same thing. Like Geshe-la exists, Geshe-la appears to you, and how he appears to you is existing truly. So for the ordinary people.
It's me and my picture the different outside.
I thought we
You
all
and
had
your
separate
picture are different. It's different.
Yeah.
Not the need for part of Shayama.
내 손님,
그래, 손님, 나 결혼 나와도 내 손님 나오니.
what if it's me and my body
My reflection.
reflection?
In a mirror?
No, for you.
Oh, like your appearance to me,
Yes.
not reflection, like,
No, he's not talking about him. He's talking about his appearance to you, and then his reflection to you.
Our
So how his reflection in the mirror appears to you, and how he appears to you.
Are the same?
No, they don't appear the same to me. I mean, they appear the same in sense, yeah, they don't appear the same.
단다 좀 지금 나비 다시 건드는 아니들 또데 까리 가지고 되랬어. 근데 가자마다 와인다 뭐 네, 준다 뭐 시만 하는 거예요. 가가 샤도 샤마시 와인다. 다 가시가 다 고소는 맨날 들으면 됐어. 지금 맨날 뭐 말하지 못하고. 도모하게 들으면 나와 있는 거. 좀 모르겠어.
So that's the reason, like we think, that it has to exist the way it appears to us, right? But and that's the reason why there are many different levels of tenets. So the one says, yeah, if it doesn't exist in the way it appears to me, then it doesn't exist at all. And then one says, if it exists in the way it appears to you, then it doesn't exist at all. So that's why it came the different level of the tenets. But in conclusion, or ultimately, there's nothing that exists in the way it appears to us.
이 자자나 지랑수 난 감나와 되면은 아니 그실에 매를 걸었어. 저는 대리 쳐다보는 거지.
See, the Geshe that appears to you, how does it appear to you? As existing from its own side.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why Geshe that appears to you doesn't exist. But there's one school that says if Geshe doesn't appear, doesn't exist, and how he appears to me, then it doesn't exist at all.
This is you guys studied it many times. Maybe you already know.
Exactly.
What do you think?
I know that, but we have to be able to say that Geshe exists. Geshe exists.
Yeah.
I understand that the way
No,
that
yeah,
to
yeah.
any ordinary being that you appear as existing from your own side, and that is incorrect. But if you look at the definition of conventional existence, even in the Prasangika, we all have to say that we can all agree Geshe exists, and
Yeah, no, nobody's saying Geshe doesn't exist. Geshe exists. The how Geshe appeared to me doesn't exist.
right.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Appear.
Yeah,
How
no,
he appeared to
no,
me
no,
doesn't
there,
exist.
no
Yeah.
debate. Got it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it's saying. So how he appeared to you, does it exist?
No, Geshe doesn't exist in the way he appears to me.
Yeah, so that's what I
But
think.
he's doing his own appearing?
I don't get it.
Not really?
No, appearance is how you see him.
Well, so like I said,
Okay.
I've seen it where the things were all directly connected and the observer was there and saw this separate, so I could see the whole environment around me. And every single thing was directly connected, but the observer was the only thing seeing. So technically, all these things are connected, and the only one that did exist or was aware was my awareness, which is the observer. So that's essentially was taking the place of feeling at that moment, all beings, all physical reality, all form was just mere directly connected, like this whole room. If this whole room could be picked up and closed like a book, it was like that, and nothing in it was more, no. So,
How you put in the book?
say it again?
How can you pick this whole room as like a book and then collapse it?
You'd be impressed.
How can you do that?
When everything's directly connected. I can go grab the picture. You want me to grab the picture?
Yeah, but I mean, you can fold the pillars and the ceiling and the floor, everything like a book.
Yes, because see, us in this room having conversation between physical beings, you would absolutely deny the fact that it could be so because you hold on to your separateness. You hold on to your individuality.
가가 등겨야 상마 찍어라. 찍을 냠도 대대를. So everything's all same.
Everything's connected.
It's all connected.
Everything is like.
So if it's connected, doesn't mean that it can be all same, right?
What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean by that?
But you're saying that it's all same.
what.
So it's all connected.
Yes, like,
But it's- so-
like all these pages in this book have different information,
Yes,
but they're all in this book.
exactly.
Yeah, so we don't
So it
say.
cannot be one page.
Yeah, but who's reading the book?
People, person.
No, like, see what happens is this, we're gonna say this page is you. This is your whole existence, is just this page, right?
No, page is not you.
But say, okay, so you wanna stand it up then, so it looks.
Page is paper.
Yes. So,
This is true.
but what I'm saying is,
You are
like,
different.
each person, say they're different people, right? Like, all these different things that happen, you could be the room.
Small thing, small, just example different. Like the table and you are different. Oh, same.
Different only when you can, like, hold attachment to your physical forms.
It's same or different. The
Right
table,
now, they're definitely different.
that is different. We say everything is same to implement. You say yes.
Yeah.
But what's my question gone? Can change another one? Maybe we should get so the normal. Tell me whether man is somewhere.
So most people think that if it doesn't exist in a way they appear to us, then it doesn't exist at all.
How the level should get over? Only not to me. An example. Can you say what's your name? 계란기 나 지나가 가시 좀 통한다. 계란 통하는 지금 내가 있나? 가지 되어 있나? 보내도 가지 나 가리다서. 그래서 너무 지면 아니 매로 그러니 가리 그래서.
So like pearl doesn't exist in a way. Pearl appear to us, right? Pearl exists. Pearl appears in certain way, but pearl doesn't exist in that way. So if pearl doesn't exist in that way, then how does she exist? Or she doesn't exist at all. Does she not exist at all?
No, she exists.
She exists, right? So then if she exists, then how does she exist? She doesn't exist in a way that she appears to us. She appears to us, right? She doesn't exist in that way. That we already said that. Now, how does she exist? But she exists, right? She doesn't appear and she doesn't exist in a way she appears to us, but she exists. Then how does she exist?
Yeah, well, yeah, like that. If someone complain us, or someone will ask to some challenge, and how they exist, that person. Here we don't put ours at that. Don't think they not. Why they talk about rich way na? Kaji suzu semne and you want me thank
If we think it that way, then it will help, to transform or change our mind. 간대적인 조어도 가는 fingers.
그 가르쳐서는 나도 나 그게 수수 감사만 있고 타마데 다 했어 그랬어.
Because what we think, right? We think of certain things, and then we think that's how it is.
대부분의 파트이지는 다 알고 있어.
But if we really investigate, then it's not really how it is. It's not really like that,
소소에 대한 것들이 이랬어.
So it is me who thinks it is that way. It's not the person existing like that way.
왜 자신이 있나? Okay, like that. This is thinking a lot. Yes.
곤란이 미사라질다.
If someone you get mad. Does he get mad sometimes?
So someone who irritates you, right? Someone who makes you angry, like somebody who says something and then do something and that makes you get angry, right? Like, so if that person, you think, oh, that person is very bad, right? Your person thinks the person is bad, or person is, doing that in the wrong way like that. So that's you think because that's how it appears to you, or that's how you think.
Sometimes your friends make you get mad.
I would not mad. If they make me, I would not mad.
Have you met any
So somebody, like your friends, do they do something that makes you get angry?
Yes.
제가 디가라 나도 소소 디브레와
So at that time, when they do something or say something and that makes you get angry, at that time, you think it is them that's at fault, right? No, they did bad. They said bad. Therefore, I'm getting angry.
No.
Right? No?
That's not their fault. Just misunderstanding.
Ah, that's good. That's good. And then we said that Korak mit Kualu Chiwada Koina, so Purusa don't.
See, like usually, like you say, oh, because they did that, because they said that, therefore I'm getting angry, right? But if you understand that, oh, no, there's a misunderstanding, and he's not like saying bad or not doing bad. If you do that, then your mind doesn't get angry. That's the benefit. So that's the difference of knowing and not knowing. If you know the reality, then you don't get angry.
So I had a question from the opposite side. Okay, so you see those apples?
Good positive side.
But so we see those apples, right? Now, if we don't look at them, do they not exist anymore? We had this debate
I
and
didn't say that. Have the debate. What I said was, well, what it means to exist is to be known. An object of knowledge and existence is synonymous. So to exist means to be known, right?
so.
But just because you turn
not
your head
known.
doesn't mean you don't know it. You don't remember the apple?
So, but
You
you
don't
said
know
a
apples anymore?
consciousness. So if no consciousness sees it, does it exist or not?
Not yet.
An important question.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're right. You're right. If there's no consciousness that sees the apple, then there's no apple.
That's what I said. He doesn't believe it.
Then that means there's no ground.
No. Good. Does your car exist?
Yes. I drove it today.
You don't see it.
Right, but I'll see it in the morning when it's.
Exactly. Therefore, you don't see the apple. It doesn't matter. You don't see the
What ultimate the question
This is
is
the ultimate.
there a ground to reality? There has to be.
The now.
Yes, there is.
There has to be.
Yeah.
That is how you look, right? But the apple still exists.
Yes.
What does that mean? A ground to reality.
Or else
Let's
it's
say
just
yes.
the mind only. So there's really no table, only my conception of a table, like magic poof. Like I see it, I can imagine
No.
a pink elephant.
First, I think maybe
So the first thing you said is wrong already. There's no table, it's wrong.
I think the apple is not depend only your mind. If you say table is not that is wrong.
So saying there's no table is wrong. There is a table.
The table depends on your mind. That
Only to me. Is that the correct thing?
No. The Geshe, what the Geshe is saying, the way it appears to you is not there, but it is there. It is there, but it is not there. The way
okay, yeah. There's some people.
I guess I wanted to make a comment.
It's not independent from you. I did, but sentiment is not sentiment. Tomorrow, that's it. The general control, sentiment all like this.
So like, there's a table that you see and the table that she sees, right? So the table that she sees is not the table that you see.
Right,
So you have your own table to see and she has her own table to see. Even though you both are looking at the same table, it's a different table.
right.
Different table that you see.
Right, so like you use the metaphor like of water, right? So hell being will see blood and pus, say, right? A human will see water, God will see nectar.
Yeah.
So we know that we project onto what?
No, it's real for each of them. There isn't some substrate.
So
there isn't.
There has to be a
No,
substrate.
for the God, it's nectar. For the human, it's water. For the hungry God.
But they have to be looking at something. They wouldn't look at this and say it's water. Pus.
They're looking at water. They're looking at pus, and they're
So
looking at
let's say
nectar.
they look at a rock. Could they see a rainbow?
Can you click for that?
I don't think so.
It's equally correct. with all of them. There isn't some, but what is it really? There is no what is it really?
I'm listening to all this and I'm concerned. I'm
You don't have to
concerned.
present.
No, I'm listening here seriously. I'm concerned that if you say, all right, this object is the existence or non-existence of this object is determined by a consciousness able to apprehend it. I'm concerned that invites a nihilism, that it's all a projection and that it's a functioning thing. I think but we know in the Prasangika Madhyamaka, there's neither object nor subject, right? Is that correct?
There is both.
But there's, but the existence of something isn't determined by either object or subject. Is that correct?
It's the Madhusana, the Shivagi, Zimba, no, Seva Mazet Yamas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is, it is determined by the subject. So if it is,
That's Prasangika Tantrika.
yes, Prasangika. So if there is a mind that holds the object, then there is the object. If there's no mind holding that object, then there is no object. Every object has to have a mind to hold it.
But why rabbit's horn does not exist?
Repeat that again?
Rabbit's horn is not exist.
Correct.
Because they tend to be
See, what is the definition of object? Right? Like we talk about definition of object, that which is known by mind is the object.
Okay, I can follow that.
Yes, right? So it has to be known. If it is an object, it has to be known, means like grasping or knowing is same thing, right?
Okay.
Right? So mind grasps it, mind knows it, it's the same thing. So if it's an object, it has to be known by the mind. So Geshe is giving that example of the rabbit's horn. Doesn't exist, it's not an object because there's no mind that knows it.
Chair.
Okay.
Up to you. If you want to sit, it's okay. Okay,
Maria has a
Moria.
comment.
Yeah, Moria, please.
Okay, thank you. I was just gonna comment on the apple because I don't see an apple, so the apple doesn't exist.
It's your kitchen and the apple.
Right? I have
Not
an
you-
apple in my kitchen, yeah.
Apple doesn't
Not your
exist.
apple. I don't see your apple over there though. So,
I have got a lot of apples.
yeah.
It's kind of they want to channel ship to your manos. Channel manos. Tongue ship to look at the one you join.
So it doesn't have to be your mind that sees it. There has to be a mind that sees it. It doesn't have to be your mind that sees it.
Right, so when there were subatomic particles and we didn't have a microscope, that means they never existed? That's irrational, that's lunacy.
But there was a mind that sees it.
Whose mind? Buddha's mind.
Think about it. Omniscient mind.
Oh, by definition, if there's omniscient mind, then every
No.
potential object exists.
Yeah.
By definition.
By
To say omniscient means everything.
Okay, so how simple, was there
Okay, I
cancer
get it.
before cancer was discovered? Yeah, people died of cancer, but they didn't call it cancer.
Sometimes they serve.
In the same way, yeah, of course, even the Buddha has talked about like, particles.
What is it? There was a cancer before the cancer?
No, like trying to use a different example than what Mark used. Before they discovered cancer, did people die of cancer?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
No, they just died.
Yeah, I see. Yeah. But it's-
No,
you just label.
No.
I mean, people can die or not die, doesn't matter, right? I mean,
No, but what's the
if
question?
there's a cancer, it doesn't mean that people have to die. You can have a cancer and you don't have to die.
No,
Right?
there's a
So before
question.
they discovered the cancer, was there a cancer or not?
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. That's the question.
that's the question. Yeah.
That has to be the question.
So
Well,
we
but if
should-
it's saying do people die of cancer, it
They may die,
necessarily,
they may not die.
but it necessarily means that cancer exists.
They want to put a name cancer. Disease for that.
Yeah, the name, there has to be named cancer.
An imputed label.
Right, and so in the
If
same
there was
way.
no named cancer, even though disease was there, it was not called cancer, then there's no cancer.
In the same,
But
is
this
that
is-
your question?
No, it
So
does
later,
not.
later the
It's
doctors
amazing.
found that this is killing people, so that's how.
Around definitions, but in other words, if I don't name the Big Bang, then it never happened
No, but
because I
somebody
didn't name
did.
it. That's
It wasn't
nonsense.
you, it was-
Yes, somebody did it.
That's bad.
Somebody.
So where's the Big Bang came from then? Somebody named it, right?
So if a tree falls in the forest and no one hears it, it doesn't make a sound,
Uh-huh, exactly. It doesn't make sound.
but it changes the environment because a machine without ears,
But that's
it's not
somebody who
sentient.
hears it, not
Can't
you,
measure
not me, but somebody hears it.
What does sound mean? Sound is an object that occurs when you have the meeting of various conditions and the ear sense.
The sound is something that you hear with your
Right,
ears.
sounds subjective in a mind, like a machine won't hear a symphony, but it will measure frequency, amplitude, right? So there has to be
not a
a
mind.
ground of reality. Now, subjectively,
Independent of consciousness?
yes, because where did consciousness have, yes, absolutely yes.
You said there's reality independent of consciousness.
Matter, there has to be, yes, there has to be something, because you could make the very clear argument that before you had a brain evolve, like you just had amoebas, and then before that you just had atoms that were not conscious. That doesn't mean everything just disappeared. That's magical thinking. That's say, okay, if I think, everything I think of becomes reality. That's an LSD trip. That's not reality.
You're suggesting there's a beginning to consciousness.
In this world, there is.
Talk about that with Schrodinger's cat. I want to research that.
What's the beginning of consciousness?
I'm going to look that
What
up.
was the cause of consciousness?
Schrodinger.
Because the question is,
The question is like, is there there has to be a ground,
why?
because your mind has to be looking at something to be an object.
Exactly.
Or else we would see something totally different. Bob would see a mountain lion. I'd see a Ferrari.
Yeah.
She'd see a pink helmet. It would be absolute
No, because what's the criteria for something to exist? It has to be known by a conventional consciousness. It can't be negated by another valid conventional consciousness. So you can't call that an iPhone because I'm another valid consciousness that says, no, that's a book. And it can't be negated by ultimate analysis. So there you have it.
Good. Okay, remember what words we talked last week?
Oh, we were on verse 90. we just finished, I think, the animal realm, and we're talking about.
What?
I think we just finished the animal realm and starting on the hungry ghosts. Yeah, I think we were around that 91.
Okay. Anyway, I've been over to the little day one day. That day, and the lower to the Yawa, you know, the shit. So you want it to get anything. Yes.
So in this text is where we are now, it talks about the sufferings of the hungry ghosts and the suffering of the animals, right? So this is talking about the suffering where they come because we created a cause, to experience those sufferings.
And they get the kind of take Mishimo also.
And what made us to create those causes is the ignorance, because of the ignorance. So ignorance means not knowing, right? It's the ignorance, not knowing the reality, is the ignorance. And so, we think that the things exist just like we think, just like they appear to us, or, just like we think, and they exist, so that's why, we think in that way, but that's not the reality. That's ignorance. All the problems in the world comes from that thought, right? So it has to be like I think, it has to be like I said, because it's not happening like I said, so therefore I'm going to go against it, like that. So then there comes all these problems in the world. So it is because of that mistake that we make in our mind, thinking that's how it is, and because of that, then there comes all these problems.
So
like like in our day-to-day life things, things that we do, if we do it in the right way, then we'll have the good result, right? The things will be smooth, but if we do something wrong, then the outcome will be also bad. And so because of the way we think in a mistaken way, right? So then we create, we do the things in a mistaken way. We think in a mistaken way, and then we do in a mistaken way, and that way we create a cause in a mistaken way.
예? 대인미처럼 가리거든요. 당당한 잡을래. 삼로 땅땅 남줄 제땅 소지전 자자 지기 있다. 뭐 습지 지을 뭐다 지을 말았어.
So like the way we think, right? They're like like the human beings. There's no other beings who think in that way.
내가 원하는 그 자자 붙이면 소도 먹고 매자는 제 다다는 거죠. 아무 밑에 심지 제도도 맞아야 돼. 네가 삼삼마다마다 레마다와서니 조금
And so, each of us, we have a different thought. So we create a different action based on that thought, right? And then there comes the different result. So that's why everybody we experience, the results, the result that we experience is all different. Like something like a product, if you are manufacturing a product, you can have exactly same shape, same size and same color and so forth. But the result that we experience cannot be same because each of us, we have different thoughts and engage in different actions.
You got this apple exactly like same. You got the same.
Close. But the same, of course, they're not identical.
쟤는 내가 좀 태기는 마소리만 그런 싸울 제다 제 축하 말하지 말아요.
It's not like a product that we manufacture, right? So which we can have exact same color, shape, size, and so forth. But this one, you just created a cause. You saw the seed in the ground, and then from there came the tree, and then from there it grows the apple, right? So it's not like something that we made it with our hand or machine in the exact same shape and color. Therefore, it's not exactly same.
간제 내가 제다 맞아বে 돈에 내 맞아서 안에 되고 맞아বে 두고 해서 다 되는 대전에 다 되는 말 안녕하세요 예다세요 되는 말 들으면 무슨 동안 좀 되고 이시기요래.
So anyway, so because of thinking in this different ways, we create a different action, and then we experience a different kind of results. So it's the same thing, like different kind of rebirths that we have is because of the different kind of actions that we have created. So certain kind of action we have created. Therefore, some of us are born as a human being, some of us are born as animal, some as a hungry ghost or hell being, and so forth.
Okay, 제가 다 되는 말 대비는 날로다. 나타 동아다 뭐시기요.
So if you have a book, you can read it yourself. It all talks about different kind of sufferings of the lower well-beings.
누구 가래 배셔. 따따나 또 다우스 와다 마제비. 아니 실로라서니 샘지도 상관다. 누구 디나 내대.
And then also it talks about like the animals, the sufferings, the animals, like the animals that's owned by people and that's not owned by people, or like the domestic animals or the wild animals and so forth.
Okay, it's a little bit connected to we talk about okay. And I'm with that thing machine model machine model machines. And then there's some rest this connection.
So today we talked about all this reality or the mistaken mind, right? So thinking that things doesn't exist if there's no ground. So because of that, we create different kind of action, and then as a result, we have different kind of rebirths. So it's not like only how it is explained in the scripture by Buddhism, but is it really like that or not? So we should think about that. And then if we find that it's really like that, then it will be really more kind of firm, stable in our mind.
Okay, some guys are sleeping there. You guys very effort, you guys just yourself there, very focused, maybe a little bored, but you guys very, very effort, okay? Good job. Okay, now we stop.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you, Geshe.
Okay, please turn to page 39 for the Thanksgiving mandala offering. Saji Perti Shushini Jetsun Lame Kutsura Perchun Paratune Chosyoji Pata Losam Tenley Dume Sasungi Drome Mutsil Tadune Yuchi Idam Guru Ratna Dada For my two collections, vast estates that I've amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom eyes blinded by ignorance. Even if I do not reach this state, may I be held in your loving compassion for all my lost Manjushri. May I find the best of the complete creative paths of the teachings, and may I please all the Buddhas by practicing. Using skillful means strong with strong force of compassion, may I clear the darkness from the minds of all beings with the points of the path as I have discerned them. May I hold Buddhist teachings for a very long time. With my heart going out with great compassion in whatever direction the most precious teachings have not yet spread or once spread have declined, may I reveal this treasure of happiness and aid. May the minds of those who wish for liberation be granted boundless peace, and the Buddhist deeds be nourished for a long time. By even this great course to enlightening people due to the wondrous virtuous conduct of the Buddhists and their children. May all human and non-human beings who eliminate adversity and make things conducive for practicing the excellent paths never be parted in any of their lives from the purest path praised by the Buddhas. Whenever someone makes an effort to act in accordance with the tenfold Arya Nagarjuna practices, may they always be assisted by the mighty ones, and may oceans of prosperity spread everywhere. Hari Wale Hor Page 49, and we're going to say the prayer for the swift return of Lama Zopa Rinpoche. The last three words change to Yur Jun Shou. Page 57, prayers of dedication. To this virtue realize we have gained Buddha's faith. Beyond every sanctity, without exception, investing. Precious Supreme Lord divine, never unborn arise, and wherefore never decline, but increase forevermore. Page 75.